Okay, now in our void loop, we can start using our for loop. So let's use a for loop to count through the levels of brightness. And brightness is spelt with a B and an N. Okay, now if we take a look at what we were doing, we're creating a pulse width modulation, which has a range of 0 to 254, giving us 255 values, 255 levels of brightness. So in our for loop, we can say for counter equals 0, semicolon, counter is less than or equal to 254, semicolon, counter plus equals 1. We close the parentheses, we add a curly bracket, we hit enter, which gives us our second curly bracket. So in this for loop, what we're doing is we say our counter begins at 0. For as long as our counter is less than or equal to 254, keep going. And every time we move through this loop, add 1. So every time we move through the loop, counter will add 1. So it'll be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 254. Inside our loop, we can now set the brightness of the LED. And when we want to set the brightness, or we want to use analog output, we use a command that's very similar to digital write. We say analog write, and as before, we have to tell it which pin, and we are going to say LED pin, which is pin 3, comma, and we have to give it the value of brightness. Now what's very nice about this code is that we can use this variable, because every time we increment by 1 means it's going to get brighter, because 0 would be off, 254 is full brightness. So if we put the variable counter here, every time we move through this loop, it's going to get brighter by 1. The last part of this loop is we're going to delay for speed, for setting the speed. And we set that to 50 milliseconds, so we're going to say delay my delay. And if we run this code all by itself, the LED will get very bright, and then it'll go dark, and it'll get really bright again, and then it'll go dark, and it'll get really bright again. So let's write a very similar for loop, only it'll take the LED from going to full brightness all the way to dark. So we're going to actually write this again. But let's see. Use a for loop to count through the levels of brightness. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing again, only we're going to go backwards. So we're going to say for counter equals 254, because we're going to start at full brightness. We're going to say counter is greater than or equal to 0. And then we're going to say counter plus equals 1. Then we're going to close the parentheses, add a curly bracket, hit enter, and get its brother down here. And we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to set the brightness of the LED, and we're going to say analog write, LED pin, the color coding, again, analog write, LED pin, and we're going to again set it to counter, because now counter will be going from 254 all the way to 0, and the LED will get darker. So we'll say counter, parentheses, curly bracket, hit enter, we get its brother. Oh, actually we don't need the curly, I'm sorry. There is no curly bracket here. We do a semicolon, and then let us delay for setting the speed, and then we say delay my delay. We close this up and semicolon, and we now have two for loops that will first make the LED go from dark to bright, a second for loop that'll take it from bright to dark, and then the code will go back up here again and start executing the same thing over. Let's check our code.